Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode in my series on the Witcher lore. If this is my first video you're watching, then hello and welcome. My name is OKGov and I'm here to do the best job I can in explaining and showing you various characters, creatures, locations and classes from inside of the world of The Witcher. The last episode was on Sylvans, but today, however, we're going to be taking a deep, long look into the sewers, where resides a monster inspired by fairy tales. The sewers of Oxenfurt are dark and damp, an eerie shadow to every corner and enough disturbing sounds to scare many of even the bravest souls away. It is composed of two levels, the highest and the lowest, the second of which being the most dangerous and has been closed off for many years due to its infamy. Drowners and rats can be found amid the murky waters as they wander the dark passageways. They are so common in fact that they are almost expected to be seen in such places. One such creature you would never expect to find, however, is the new monster that inhabits the sewers. One that upon arrival began infecting all the waters and causing the disappearance of many Redanian noblewomen for unknown reasons. Not much was done at first, as no one thought or knew what was happening or even why and where the issue was arising from until much later. In fact, the only thing that led to a proper intervention was when the infection started killing King Radovid's soldiers, who then sent a research unit into the sewers led by Captain Vern Palak and by the field medic, Shani. Putting all the pieces together and realizing that it was a creature causing the issues, their goal was to then get a sample of the monster's saliva in the hopes to create a vaccine. A bit like when you take the venom from a snake or from a scorpion in order to create an antidote in order to cure its bite or its sting. The expedition, however, was a failure since all the soldiers in the unit were killed off by various different monsters. Shani had luckily survived thanks to their sacrifice and was found by Geralt, who consequently had a contract to kill the monster. In their search for the beast's slayer, they find bodies of its victims, men who thought they could slay it and women who thought to break the curse with a kiss and win a prince. Now there's a lot more to the story, and as to the ending and all the explanations behind how and why the monster even exists, but they are massive spoilers connected to even bigger spoilers, so if you'd like to know more about that you can take a look at the wiki page down below. The legend of the Frog Prince is based off of the fairy tale with the same name. Inside of the game there's a short passage from the version which goes like this. The girl walked up to the edge of the pond. There, squatting amidst the fragrant lilies and broad lily pads, she saw the most unusual sight. A small green frog with a golden crown perched on its warty head. Charmed by this curious little creature, the girl picked it up and gave it a kiss. Immediately, the little frog transformed into a handsome prince. Overcome with gratitude, he asked the girl to be his wife. And that is coincidentally also how the story goes inside of most of our own fairy tales and our own mythology. Even though that's just a small sentence from the story, many of the folk from Oxenfurt wished to believe it as being very true when they heard that a monstrous toad lurked in their city sewers. All the women that hunted it in search of romance and a better life found instead something very, very different. The creature they encountered was no small sweet frog, but a bloodthirsty beast who did not take very kindly to wanting to be kissed. Instead, he devoured them and anything else that strayed into his slime-covered lair in search of either kisses or of glory. The original fairy tale, or at least the best known version, is that of the Brothers Grimm, which is traditionally the first tale in their collection of stories. In the tale, a spoiled princess reluctantly befriends the Frog Prince, meeting him after dropping a golden ball into his pond, and the Frog Prince then magically transforms into a handsome prince, of course. Although in the modern versions, the transformation is always triggered by the princess kissing the frog. In the original Grimm version, the frog's spell was broken when the princess threw it against a wall in disgust. I don't know how many of you know, but the original fairy tales by the Brothers Grimm were often a lot more darker, and some would argue a lot more interesting than they are today. In other versions, the frog spends the night on the princess's pillow, and there is also a Russian folk version where the male and female roles are reversed, leading to the male prince discovering the enchanted female frog, who becomes a female sorceress. Throughout the years and throughout all different forms of media, the tale has seen many changes and evolutions, but obviously inside of The Witcher it's got a much darker twist, which is honestly kind of awesome. Obviously I won't spoil the main part of the story like I said before, but the monster that is the Toad Prince is obviously a being that is been cursed somehow to become what he is when you find him inside of the game. And for those of you who've actually played it, you know exactly what I mean. But that is why he belongs inside of the category of the cursed ones, leading to him being a cursed creature. When it comes down to the dirty deed of killing and slaying this massive thing, it's not always that easy. In fact, many people have said it's one of the toughest fights in the game, depending on what your strengths are. While in combat, the best thing to do is to make sure your blade is lacquered with golden aureole, or indeed the advanced version of that blade oil. It's a good idea to have the northern wind bombs ready as well, while using Yarden to trap him for a few moments, getting in a chance to strike a few hits. Don't bother with Quen, however, because he can break the spell very easily, so instead save that stamina you have for Igni and Yarden. His tongue can also lash out very unexpectedly, during which time it's a good idea to roll in for 1 or 2 attacks in order to deal some more damage. But the overall key is patience and lying in wait long enough to deal the damage slice by slice and taking your time. And of course, since this monster belongs under the category of the cursed ones, then cursed oils will also help you out a lot. A few people have actually asked me why I didn't include this creature in the video I made on the cursed ones, and the main reason being is that since it's a boss fight and more of an intricate character, it makes more sense to give them their own video because they kind of deserve it, and even if it's just a shorter one, it still makes more sense. And I don't normally do this, but I have to say that I just love the design behind this monster and the kind of bulbous look it has, and the animators behind him did such a bloody amazing job with the amount of weight you feel as he lands and as he slashes around the place. And it's really amazing, especially when you understand the technical side behind all of it that goes into making things look and act the way they're meant to be. Because in games especially, you know, things can look all shiny and nice, but if they don't have good animations, if they don't have that feeling of weight and that feeling of belonging inside of the space they're trying to inhabit, then you can kind of lose the overall feeling. So to see what they did and what they managed to do with this massive monster is just so wonderful. It's the same with a lot of the trolls and the elemental inside the game, and all the creatures that are bigger and more bulbous and more of the heavy hitters in that respect. So that's about it for the Frog Prince. Like I said, there was more I could go into detail or put into the video in terms of like how the story ends and where it goes on to, but I want to keep these generally speaking spoiler free because even though the game is going to be a few years old soon, there are still a few people that haven't played it yet, and I'd rather not spoil the game for them, because you know how you get really excited and pumped to play something and suddenly, yeah, this character dies and then moves on. I have definitely had too much coffee. However, if you would like to see anything else, then the wiki link is down below for anyone that's interested, and it's essentially just a summary of what happens after the events of finding him inside of the sewer. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please drop a like and share it around if you enjoyed it, and stay subscribed if you want to see more because it's on its way. So thank you very much, and until the next one, this has been OkGovBear, and please, you go and have a very, very, very good day. Lawn Acid Rain.